Hey all, film fantasy? No, what do I call this? Film Fancies episode here. And this is a thank the gods I didn't pay to see this one experience for me to share with you all. I actually feel a little bit like that Gilda Radner SNL character right now, Emily Litella, in that I really want to say,
"What's all this fuss I keep hearing about
the Barbie movie? Yeah, what's all this fuss?
Never mind.
Never mind. I mean, when the film came out at the same time as Oppenheimer, which I've yet to dedicate 3 hours plus to, I read articles and comments about how different this film was going to be, how the director this, the set director that, the actors the other. Boy, was I a schmuck. The story itself is really silly. Barbie lives in a parallel universe with a bunch of other Barbies and a covey of Kens, maybe a Stacy or Skipper hanging out among the extras, along with one Midge and one Ellen. The particular Barbie we're interested in, since all the female denizens are named Barbie, is, by her own admission and repetition to herself and others, the stereotypical Barbie, which makes her the blonde, busty original version. We are reminded of many of the basic traits of Barbie, such as her bent feet to accommodate heels, never flats, her out of natural proportion hairbrush, the fact that even though she eats and drinks, she only eats and drinks pretend food. She doesn't even bother to take the stairs from the second floor of her dream home. She just magically floats down to her Barbie dream car, the pink Corvette. All of these reminders turn into setups for fairly bland, unfunny punchline moments later in the film. They serve no other end. While things are just perfect in Barbie Land, Barbie herself begins to experience some unusual and troubling changes. Her feet go flat. She begins talking about death. Uncharacteristically worried, she consults with a character called Weird Barbie, who is just a Barbie that has been abused by its owner, and is told that she will have to cross over to the real world, find her owner, and fix her relationship with her in order to bring perfection back to her life. So, we've got the Barbie follows the yellow brick road to fix her problems somewhere else storyline. Ken tags along. Well, the stereotype Ken, not the Asian Ken who thinks he's got the best chance with Barbie or any of the other Kens that populate Barbie Land. And they both experience predictable culture shock. On observing how the real world works in contrast with how Barbie Land is run, Ken gets the idea that men should take control in Barbie Land and heads back alone to begin a revolution. Barbie finds her owner, gets kidnapped by the evil executives at Mattel, all men, and narrowly escapes corporate headquarters. She and her owner and the owner's mom, the mom turning out to be the Barbie abuser, return to Barbie Land to find that the Barbies have been brainwashed and the Kens have indeed taken over. Well, I can't share any more of the story with you all. It's just incoherent and wandering crap from the beginning to end. On top of that, the incoherency is framed within those horribly overused stereotypical plot tactics that one isn't surprised to see in a movie called Barbie, but which one would hope would have been avoided by someone trying to make a movie called Barbie. What stood out for me? Well, maybe the long spiral pink slide that surrounds Barbie's dream home. It's only used once, and it's Ken that uses it. As he slides down the slide that seems to have been covered in invisible double-stick tape, I wondered what kind of contaminating plastic substance that set piece had actually been made of and how much it cost to make. How could they spend so much money on pink plastic and paint and not bother to hire a good songwriter? There are a couple of songs. The film's not a musical, but there are those songs, and the lyrics are horrible, the music twisted to fit them.
For those of you watching on YouTube, these few seconds in blank are because of a copyright infringement flag. I don't agree. I'm just quoting from the movie. But so this video can get up on time, I've included this disclaimer.
I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. Is it my destiny to live and die a life of blonde fragility? I actually unconsciously changed the word fragility in that lyric to virginity as I watched. How could they spend so much money on all those pink dresses and pantsuits and not bother to hire professional dancers and a choreographer to guide them? As Ken sings that above lyric, all the other Kens, suddenly all dressed up like they were about to break into Grease Lightning from Grease, do uninspired TikTok choreography that would fit perfectly in a cell phone vertical frame. There's a dance number among the Barbies that you can spot individuals messing up their steps. Didn't anyone notice? And where was the money for the screenwriter? Why did we need a narrator? Why did they have to revert to nearly cheap references to much better films like 2001: A Space Odyssey or Matrix? What's the connection between Barbie and science fiction? Or was the script actually written by artificial intelligence? Did Hal write this crap? Where did the director have her head? What was the message, the theme? Even the silliest slash and gash movie has a theme. The characters have motivations. The killer wants to kill because of some mysterious childhood trauma or adult injustice. And the oversexed teens want to survive. A don't have sex in cabins in the woods or don't open that door, run instead kind of message comes through. Barbie teeter-tottered between the stereotypical idea that the whole Barbie concept was meant to empower girls and encourage them to change a male-dominated world, and how emasculating males can lead to the detriment of society. The film could not decide which of the two, Barbie or Ken, was the protagonist. I think it should have been Ken. I don't know if it would make me chauvinistic or misogynist to point out that the idea that in Barbie Land it is the woman who rules and the man who bows has been discussed in modern times. Attacks on so-called feminism are not unusual, and I actually think that they have contributed to shifts to the right in today's society. Men have felt threatened by what they think feminism is, and they are often confused by it. And that fear leads them to macho extremism. This is pretty well shown in how Ken manages to lead a male revolt on returning to Barbie Land. The Kens take over the dream houses. They move to take over the government of Barbie Land. Yet, for all this Ken doll macho bravado, the Barbies manage to thwart their plans by playing to a perceived principal male weakness. Make the guy think it's all about him, and you have gained control. But isn't that the same kind of control that the perfect housewife in the 1950s TV family shows had? Dad always had breakfast on the table, kissed Mom on his way out, had the newspaper and slippers waiting for him when he came home. He might have to face mundane problems and conflicts at work, but at home, as in the real world outside of the workplace, Mom was in control, and we knew that. Both Dad and Mom knew what their roles were in life and who controlled what. The characters in Barbie only portray their assigned roles in their artificial life. Ken thinks he's just a beach bum and doesn't aspire to anything else. Even when he thinks he's in control, he's just a beach bum in control. Barbie doesn't want to change either. She wants everything to be just as it was before her quick revelation that the real world is not the same as the Barbie world. On returning and finding that a horse-driven patriarchy has evicted her from her dream house, she falls into depression. And the only way to pull her out of that depression is to make her the leader in getting Barbie Land back to its origins. And Barbie Land does indeed go back to those roles assigned to each of the Barbies when they were packaged and sold to those real-world girls who were supposed to be inspired to become doctors or marine biologists or Supreme Court justices. But alongside the mermaid Barbie, the mistreated, weird Barbie, the looked-down-upon Midge, the pregnant Barbie, and the odd Ellen doll, who got promised a minor position in the all-woman government, mainly because he's a man, but a strange man, not a Ken man. Stereotypical Barbie, though, makes an attempt at the necessary change that any drama needs. She decides to return to live in the real world. Which brings us to the final scene, where Barbie is on her way to some kind of appointment. By the way she is dressed, by the way her real-world owner has changed her adolescent attitude, we might be fooled into thinking that Barbie is on her way to Mattel to take a high-ranking consultant job. Mattel has been there throughout the film, pretending to be critical with itself for what Barbie promised versus what real Mattel sees her as. Probably the best line to support the idea that the film should have been called Ken is in this exchange between Ken and a Mattel executive.
I'll take a high-level, high-paying job with influence, please.
Okay, you'll need at least an MBA, and a lot of our people have PhDs.
Isn't being a man enough?
Actually, right now, it's kind of the opposite.
You guys are clearly not doing patriarchy very well.
No, no, we're doing it well. Yeah, we just hide it better now.
Oh.
You guys aren't doing patriarchy very well. We're actually doing patriarchy very well. We're just better at hiding it. But no, Barbie is not on her way to her new female power assertive job at Mattel. She's not even on her way to a job interview. She's nowhere near a job. And just to avoid spoilers, I won't say where she's gone, but when you find out, the surprise is disappointing. I may have missed something, but I don't think so. Barbie is certainly one of those movies that will mark modern cinema, but not for the reasons it could have. It was just a very long waste of pink. Really, at one point I stopped the film to give the dog his dinner and was surprised to see that there was yet over 40 minutes left to the end. I expected it to be around 15 minutes. If you must see it on your streaming service. Certainly don't pay to see it in a theater. The only satisfaction that I missed not seeing it in a theater was not being able to get up and march out around halfway into the flick. I gave it a 3 for effort and a couple of cheap laughs, and for the nod to emasculation that should have been the main theme. Not on my recommendation list at all. Well, hope to see a better film to report on soon. Cheers!
You're listening to Radio Revel. Listen, like, subscribe, and share.